What's up, y'all? Ready for another story time of brokenness? Because guess what? God is going to get the glory out of your story. And if I have to be an example to make sure it happens, then so be it. What's up? What's up? I'm an inspirational T-Sippers. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. This is a promise story time that I told you guys I was going to get to. This is a story time of brokenness and in a relationship, looking for love in all the wrong places due to my past and brokenness and addictions and drinking and smoking and clubbing and drugging. A hot, literal, diggity dog mess. I am just so grateful and so thankful that I can sit here today and just say thank you, Lord, because there are so many women who didn't make it here. You know what I mean? I talk about arguing and fussing and fighting. There are some women who literally died. You know what I mean? And I'm just so thankful and grateful that that is in my story and that God wants to use me in a different way. And I do not take it for granted at all whatsoever. So that's what I just wanted to say, you guys. I'm just so thankful that my story didn't turn out that way for just being foolish and continuing to stay in something that God is really, really, really trying to tear apart. So let's just get into the story of brokenness. Not only my brokenness, but this person's brokenness. You guys already know the drug addiction, my food addiction, drinking. Anyways, so one day I was in medical school. You guys know that my background is medical assistant in home care and things of that nature, right? When I am working. So one day I was getting ready to go to school. This is when in my schooling time. He was a great father. He would always have my baby. This is my oldest. He would always have her while I went to school. Like literally, he is the reason how I completed medical school, because I could depend on him no matter what. My sisters, yeah, they would, of course, but they all had their own lives and kids and they worked, so they weren't as dependable as he was. Like he was literally always there with his daughter. So he was literally there with her while I was in school trying to get my medical assistant diploma, right? Take this course. And so I remember one morning we were up. Let me push this flower over because this is. So one morning we were arguing, right? We were arguing about, I don't know, God knows what. Most likely we were arguing about him not going to work, because that's usually what it was. I never had any issues with cheating. We never had any issues with cheating in the marriage, right? I mean, in the relationship, right? So most likely we were arguing about him not going to work or something happening and the bills needing to be paid and him just not doing what he's supposed to do in the financial department, right? So we arguing that morning. I'm getting ready to go to school and the argument is getting like really, really heated. And so he comes to get the baby. Well, he getting ready to take her and pack her up, and he was like, I was going to school. I had to go to school because we were testing and taking these tests and getting ready to move on to like the next segment of the course, right? And so I was, as he was leaving, he had the baby in his arms. He had her diaper bag. I never forget. And he was saying, you better thank God or something like that, or I ain't gonna come back with her, or this my baby. You know what I'm saying? This my Emma effing baby. You ain't getting S. You ain't getting S. And I'm like, boy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta go to school. Don't even play, right? So he take off with the baby or whatever. I didn't feel really anything major, but I was just like, you know what, this could be something. I don't have full custody of my baby. He doesn't have full custody of the baby, so y'all already know how that goes. You can't really call it kidnapping if nobody has actually went to court to file full custody of their child. You know what I mean? Like, this is his child just as well as it's your child, and as long as this baby is not in real danger, then what can you do? You know what I mean? So he takes off. I go to school. I'm at school and I'm like, okay, as soon as I get there, I talk to my teacher. You guys, they were so cool. We built like this little family. I was valedictorian and everything. We built like this little family, and the teacher was like my second mom. So when I get to school, I'm kind of like crying and I'm distraught. I'm like, well, he's saying that he's going to, kidnap the baby, and I'm not going to be able to see the baby after I get done with school, but I have to be here to do these tests and this and that or the other. Y'all, that's Stormy in there sound like an adult. Stormy the bunny rabbit. And she was like, well, why don't you just go and check and see, what's going on. Why don't you give him a call to see what's going on or whatever. So I'm calling him like, okay, I need to pick up the baby. My sister's going to come pick up the baby because I needed her out of his care just so I can feel comfortable and go throughout my day. Like, I didn't want to have to be stressed about, am I going to be able to get the baby after school? Like, I don't know what's going on or whatever. So I called my sister and told her, and she was like, well, I'm gonna come get the baby. I told him she's coming to get the baby. He was like, ain't nobody coming to get my baby. Nobody coming to get my baby. You ain't gonna see your baby again, and woo woo, you gonna have to take me to court and all this and this and that. So I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, this man got my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's our baby, but I'm just like, come on now. Like, no. And so I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then my teacher was like, you're going to have to go to court and fill out the documents and do the paperwork to make sure that you get full custody of your child. You know what I mean? That way you don't have to play this game. Like, because if the custody is open, you're screwed. And she was telling me about her experience, about what happened or whatever. So it was this one girl in class. We had became like this. She was so cool, so sweet. And she was telling me about, she would talk to me very personal. Me and her would take off and, whatever. And, she would tell me about, about her marriage and how her husband was abusive and, how she was just so miserable, but she stayed because she had low self-esteem. I mean, we built like this really, really confidential bond between us two. And, I don't know where she is now. I talked to her a few years back and, she was okay or whatever, but she was being like abused. You know what I'm saying? And that's not my story. If y'all listen to my story times, I'm usually the abuser, past tense. And, so she's like, no, you're not going by yourself. Like, I'm going with you. Like, I can drive while you go in there and get the baby. I'm going to drive. Let's go get the baby and drop him to your sister so we can get back and finish school and take the test and do all that or whatever, right? So the teacher excuses us to go. And I'm like literally in tears. I'm so upset. I'm just like, this man is trying to take my baby. Like, you using my baby against, just being... It's a toxic mess. Like, even though he probably wasn't really going to intentionally do it, he probably was just doing it just out of anger and because we angry and going back and forth. I mean, so immature on both ends. And it's embarrassing to tell these stories. So, like, if y'all thinking I'm getting joy out of these stories, no, I'm not. It's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? But we are overcome by the word of the Lamb and the blood of our testimony. So, we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Don't add to nor take away from the word. But anyways, so we hop in the car and we go. We hop on the freeway and we go to his house, right? So I think my baby at this point had to be about, I think she was maybe like almost one, somewhere around there, about 10 months, no more than a year old. And so we get to the house, his mom's house. So it's his mom, his sister, mind you, I've already had a relationship with all of them. So like, I'm cool with them. They stay out of our business. They don't get into our arguments or whatever. They're not into anything that we've ever had going on or anything like that. Right. So the mom, the sister, and the boyfriends and her boyfriend is there. And so I'm banging on the door. Actually, my bad. Let me go back. We drive to go pick up my sister. My sister hops in the car. So it's me, my sister, and the girl from the medical college, right? So we pick her up and then we go because she wasn't that far from his mom's. And then we go to the mom's house and he not answering the door or whatever. And she was like, come get the door. Like, I don't want to deal with this stuff or whatever. So they wouldn't let us in. So y'all, do y'all know oh, Lord, forgive me. Lord have mercy, forgive us. Y'all, we bust, and this is trauma. Like, I don't even know if my baby remembered this stuff because she was barely a baby and she was 1. But, I mean, it's just so sad. So, y'all, we bust in the front door. And, like, the girl from the medical school, she stayed in the front. You know what I'm saying? In the front, in the driveway, with the car running, ready to go. Once we take the baby, we can zoom and do whatever we got to do, right? So we bust the door down, y'all, because they wouldn't open the door. And we are literally, I'm like, give me my baby, give me my baby. My sister is into it with the other sister. They start fighting. I'm fighting him. The baby is right there. I think the baby was on the couch. Yeah, I don't remember verbatim, but we're fighting. My sister is fighting the sister, and the boyfriend is like calling the police. They're like, call the police. They calling us all kind of niggers and all kind of whatever, just calling us all out of our names and all that stuff, right? And so he gets the baby, and I'm telling him, get my baby, and we fighting, we going out, and the mama like, call the police, whatever, call the police, I can't believe y'all in here. We in there trying to tear the phone off the wall so that they cannot call the police. Like, it was just a big brawl in this house, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, my main goal was to get my child, that's it. Like, I don't care nothing about nothing, what else is going on. Like, I am here to get my baby. Once I get my baby, I can go to court in the morning and do what I gotta do. Like, I just have to get her in my possession. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my only thought. You know what I'm saying? And so he ends up with the baby, and y'all, we literally pulling the baby, and I'm trying to get the baby. His mom was like, let the baby go, like, let the baby go, like, damn it, just stop, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pulling, like, give me my baby, you know what I'm saying? So I finally ripped my baby out of his arms, y'all, and it's so embarrassing. To be so hurt, so broken, so immature, you know what I'm saying? And to bring a child into this. And I'm only telling these stories because so many people can relate, men and women. You know what I'm saying? Men and women. And the thing is, y'all, is we have to heal. We have to allow God to deal with our brokenness. We have to learn to love ourselves. We have to learn how to be okay with being alone. We have to, our self-confidence needs to be tip top. And we have to know that there is no comparison. Like, before we bring these kids into these broken relationships and they have to suffer. I'm not sure if she remembers. I don't think that she does. That's besides the point. The point is, it's sad. You know what I mean? It's very, very sad. So I end up ripping my baby. We hear the cops coming. By that time, we ended up ripping the baby out of my arms, hopping in the car, and just taking off. Took the baby to my sister's house, and we ended up flying back to the schoolhouse or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the cops never came or anything like that, but I was able to the next morning go down to the courthouse and go ahead and file full custody and all that stuff, just to get that paperwork on my baby, just to kind of like nip that situation in the bud, y'all. And after that, we still ended up getting back together shortly thereafter, because I wasn't tired yet. And I believe that this is what leads women and men into being murdered and killed. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not tired yet. You still have enough to go around and around for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because you love them, or because love is blind, because for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And this is how they end up dying. And this is how, things end up turning very, very tragic. You open up the door for that one last time, or you go back over there for that one last time in hopes that, this time will be different, or, maybe this blow up was so bad, maybe we'll have an understanding, the next time around. And it makes no sense, because you're so broken. You're so broken. Like, nothing good can come out of this besides two people humbling themselves before God, you know what I'm saying, and praying and repenting and turning away and asking God to really, really, really heal you. That's the only way that stories like this can turn into something beautiful. Other than that, it's a mess. It is a complete mess. So we ended up going back to school or whatever, telling the teacher about what happened or whatnot. We was able to get our work and stuff done and do all that. But I mean, the day was it was a mess. It was really literally a mess. And it was so embarrassing to have to see his see his mom after that, knowing that what we did to her house. And I mean, tore the house up. Literally. I mean, how disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, how disrespectful. But when you're when you're in toxicity, and when you are just, I mean, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. That's why we have to have self-control. We have to have self-control. We need to learn how to control our emotions. We need to learn how to control. I mean, I can think of every excuse under the sun, but nothing excuse that type of behavior. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. Yeah, I was broken. Yeah, my childhood. Yeah, my past. My mom and dad used to fight in the house. And, you know, that's all I knew was to fist fight and this and that and this and that. Okay, I get all that. But my God, just because it still doesn't excuse it. It still does not excuse it. You know what I'm saying? It really does not. And so, you guys, that is the story about, you know, the day that he kidnapped the baby. And I'm just like, you know what, my God. And it wasn't even, the relationship wasn't even over after that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even after the big fight. It wasn't over. So I wasn't tired yet. Yes, it was leading up to me being tired, but I don't think I left him until she was like 1.5. I think I still did like almost another year. Shameful. Very, very shameful. Very, very shameful. But God is going to get the glory out of it. He really, really, truly is. He's going to get the glory out of everything that we've been through. So that is the story, you guys. It's embarrassing. It is really, really, really embarrassing. So if you can learn anything from my stories, and if you are in a relationship that is continuously going around and around and around in a circle, up and down, breaking up, fighting, fist fighting here, there. I mean, like a literal barbarian. That's how it was. Like animals, like animalistic behavior. It didn't even make no. What? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Because you're broken. You're hurt. You're lost. You know what I'm saying? You're lost. You are completely lost, my love. Not only you, but him. So this is bound to be a complete and total disaster. But God is doing it. He is faithful. He is truly, truly able, you guys. And if you are in a relationship as such, please think about it. Please step back and take a look at yourself and take accountability for your actions, you guys, and just ask God to heal you and start doing the work. Please, 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 so that we can end the cycle of domestic abuse going both ways, men and women, narcissistic abuse both ways, men and women, all types of toxicity going both ways, men and women, you guys, so we can put the end to this mess, because that's all it is mess. So I humbly tell my story. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's not any of that. And I just hope that you can learn from my stories, because it's not fun putting them out there. And I know some people may be shocked, like, oh my gosh, she dealt with all that. But yeah, I am you. I am you. I am you. I am a lot of women out there, and nothing that we go through will ever be wasted. And I promise you that. So until the next time, inspire, be inspired. I love you guys. God bless you. Good night.